Alright, welcome back to the channel. This week, we're going to take a break from Jeeps. As Bob alluded to in a little short video clip back a week or two ago, we are going to work on a Bronco today. It's right behind me. Brand spanking new Bronco. It's the Sasquatch edition. Pretty super sweet Bronco. We are going to do some cool lights. The customer came in. They don't want to do any major mods yet. I'm sure we're probably going to get into a lift kit and stuff at some point. But round number one, they want more lights. The vehicle comes with a really cool steel bumper. It's got pockets that you can add lights into. Rough Country actually makes a really cool setup to add 3 lights in those pockets. So we're going to stack those in there, get that installed, get it all wired up, and then we're also going to add some pillar lights while we're at it. Pillar light system they got's actually really sleek. I don't like kits that have all sorts of weird, crazy bracketry and stuff. Simple is effective, and to be very honest with you, in all of our off-road travels, we rarely ever even use lights. I'm pretty convinced that 9 out of 10 times it's more of a cosmetic thing. Very few people actually use their lights. I'm not saying nobody does, but very few people actually do. I know I bag on Rough Country a lot of people do, but I've had phenomenal results with their lights. Most manufacturers' lights are coming out of China. I don't care who you buy from. There are a few that are domestically made. Their prices are very, very steep for people that don't actually ever use their lights. There is a market for those lights, not going to deny that, but I don't think that this gentleman's application warrants that type of cost. And he really liked this setup, so that's what we're going to run today. So let's take a look at what we're working with. I have a similar set of Rough Country cubes on my JL, and so does Bob, and they have worked amazing. We install a lot of these. So their mounts for the cowl, what I like is that it just gives you a spacer to lift the light up. It's actually really super slick. We'll show you how that goes on when we get to that. It's part of the reason I like the Rough Country cowl lights is just the way they're set up. They just work good. The lights that are going to go on the cowl comes with all your Allen wrenches, full relayed wire harness with weather tight connectors, and the lights that we're going to use there are these. Super sweet lights, very slim, sleek, comes with all your mounting hardware, cover. It's got the side shooters, which are becoming pretty popular again. Super, super, super awesome bright lights. They're a 3-inch, so we're gonna get these installed, see how good those look. Then, like I said, for the bumper, comes all the bracketry for the bumper. So we're gonna mount this stuff on the bumper, and it's gonna hold 3 sets of these lights. These are their basic 2-inch square LED light. This is probably one of my #1 selling lights here at the shop. We sell just a god-awful amount of these. Sell an absolute god-awful amount of these things. I believe this is the exact same light that I have on my Jeep, and I think I want to upgrade to those, to the other style that they're using. I guess, again, just for looks, it's not like I really use the darn things. So maybe I won't. Probably not on the top of my list. So we got a bunch of lights to install. We got some wiring to install. We should get going. Let's do it. All right, so for the fog lights, there's 3 of them. Comes with this cool bracket. This bracket, side of the bracket is gonna mount up in the vehicle. And you're gonna take the lights and they are gonna mount just like that. And it's gonna put 3 of them on here. We'll show you what it looks like when you go on the vehicle. So when you go to assemble your lights, you're gonna wanna put your bracket on the top, not on the bottom, because again, they hang like that. I guess if you don't care that the Rough Country is upside down, I guess you could put your bracket where it would traditionally go, but we mount them the correct way. So they're gonna be 3 of them sitting just like that. Like I said, when you go to do your bracket, instead of putting it on the bottom, like you traditionally would, you flip it to the top. Like so. So we're gonna assemble this and show you what that looks like. All right, so here we go. Nothing is tight, everything still moves around. We just slightly snug them up so they're not flopping everywhere while we go to do the install. But that's basically what you're gonna look like pre-installed. Gonna get them all on there. Like I said, we hang them upside down just because the lettering, really can't see the lettering on the lights, but it's just proper. So Now we're gonna go ahead and stick this in the vehicle, show you how that fits. Got a bunch of wiring to do. Let's see if these things fit and look decent or not, because I don't know. We'll see. All right, it's actually a very, very spacious engine bay. What we did is we took a little piece of plastic we had here in house. We built this little mounting block to mount relays. We are using relays to trigger these. So what we're doing is we're going to use the factory auxiliary switches to simply trigger the relay. The relay is going to hold all of the load. So we kind of did a little custom wiring on this. We got enough to mount all 3 relays here. We are doing this corner on one relay, that on one relay, but it'll all trigger off the same switch. And then we're going to use the 3rd relay for the pillar lights we'll show you here in a brief moment. So you can kind of see here, got some relays mounted in there. So now we're going to do the pillar light, see what that looks like. That's the one I'm actually the most excited about. All right, so now we're going to do the pillar light. What's really cool about this is that this is the mirror. There's 2 bolts here. We're going to take this bolt out real quick. Then this really cool little spacer simply just sits in the hole. Keep your bracket off of the light. You're going to want to set your angle that this sits at before you install your light, because once you get the light on there, it's kind of relatively difficult to get to that to tighten it up. So you're going to want to, whatever angle you set this at and however you want to measure that, you want to make sure you do the same on the other side once you get this all set up. All right, so set the light on, put the screws in.
Maybe.
We still got to make all the adjustments and everything, but you get the concept. And to show you the concept, let's go over here. The side is installed. Already installed, already aimed. You can see we ran the wire back here. It goes up underneath the cowl and up underneath the hood. So there it is, installed. Super cool. I love that there's no bracketry, no conglomeration of crap. Super simple. It's very similar to the setup I have on Bob's Jail. Really super clean. So for the cowl light, we just brought the wire out underneath the cowl, zip tied along the main engine harness all the way around. And again, just like these 2 relays right here, we're going to add a 3rd one here for the cowl lights. So I have all 3 relays sitting right here. They're going to be triggered by the factory aux system. So here in just a brief minute, we're going to finish wiring this last one and see how bright these things are. I got a feeling this guy's going to be lighting up the night on this super cool Sasquatch. Can't wait to see what he lets us do next. Kind of excited about working on these Broncos, man. I'm telling you, these things are sweet. They're super sweet. Come out of the factory with some 315, 70, 17s, basically 35-inch tires, 34s, 34 and a halfs, whatever. Frameless doors. There's a lot of cool features about these new Broncos. The leather is just beautiful, beautiful leather. Awesome. The interiors are just sweet. I like the frameless door feature. That's pretty cool. It's kind of like half doors. I mean, it is, right? The dash is just gorgeous on this thing. This thing's brand new. Brand new. We've worked on several of these. We just haven't videoed anything for anybody. It's pretty hard to run the business and video during the day. They're super cool vehicles, though. I've contemplated about buying one. Still may. We were actually talking about it again last night. We were talking about building one. It's got a hydraulic shock on the tailgate. That's kind of cool. Plenty of storage in the back. Plenty of storage. Seats fold down just like your typical Wrangler you're used to seeing. I mean, they're competing against the Wrangler. That's what this is. This is a Wrangler competitor. And I think it's a formidable vehicle. I think its weak link will be the independent front suspension. I don't even think that. It's already been proven. People are breaking tie rods, ball joints, you name it. But you know what? We break our Jeeps too, so you can't knock the Bronco for that. They're all going to have their pros and cons. I will tell you, this thing drives absolutely amazing because it's got IFS. So its handling on the road is just unbelievable. Do I think it's as capable of it as a Jeep? If you took a similarly equipped JL on 35s, I believe it will outperform this vehicle. This might have a little bit more power, but that's all depending, right? If you have the 4xe, even those little 4-cylinder turbo Jeeps, man, they make a lot of power. They run good. So I think tick for tack, you got good reliable powertrains in both vehicles. The suspension trouble might be the limiting factor if you're into rock crawling, but if you're into trail riding and dunes and, you know, two-tracking and camping and overlanding, I'd have to say this would fit the bill. But if you're into the hardcore rock crawling, that's where you're going to see the Jeep outperform this. I'm not saying that you can't have a independent front suspension vehicle be super awesome in the rocks, because we know better. There's a lot of Ultra 4 vehicles that are independent front suspension. It's comparing apples to oranges. Those things are specifically built for off-road racing, so to compare the Bronco to that would be absolutely absurd. That being said, I still think this thing is pretty sweet. I think they're super fun. I think there's a lot you can do to these. There's so much lift kits, tires, wheels, bumpers. There's so much stuff coming out literally every week for these vehicles. I think they're going to be around for a little while. I think they're going to put a lot of people off-road, put a lot of people out in some overlanding camping situations. I think you're going to see a lot of people enjoying the hell out of these Broncos. We're excited to work on them. So just a minute, let's see how bright these lights are. All right, we're pretty much wired. He's just got a couple connections. We're going to show you. Holy cow. There's a lot of light. There's a whole lot of light coming out of a really small spot. That's pretty awesome. Wow. Here, go turn them off again. Back on. Holy crap. I wouldn't want to drive in front of this thing. Those are bright. Let's see what the pillars look like real quick. All right, so here's the pillar lights. Now these do have the little side shooters, so I'm curious to see how crazy bright those are going to be. All right, see you there. Holy, that's actually too bright to look at. Jesus Christ. And it really lights up the whole freaking wall and toolbox. That's actually annoyingly bright. I'm gonna look at it through the screen. Oh, that sucks. I'm gonna put a set of those on mine. Those are gonna be so annoying. All right, shut them off. Yeah, those ones right there are gonna be awesome for when you're on the trails at night. You'll see everything off to the side of you. Those are actually pretty sweet. So we put the covers on. He's got 2 connections to finish making, and we're gonna send this on down the road to the customer. So we appreciate you folks joining us. Hope you like this little Bronco. We'll start trying to do some more Bronco stuff. And stay tuned. See you next week.